Tax season is coming up, and it may be more stressful than usual, and your refund, it may be delayed. The IRS recently warned of major challenges, their words, for taxpayers due to the significant backlog of returns from last year. The agency also says it faces major staff shortages. Our Scott MacFarlane has more now on the growing pressure on the IRS. No one's a fan there. Scott, good morning.
Hey, Tony, good morning to you. Taxes are due April 18th this year. But the question is, are there enough tax collectors here at the IRS to promptly handle what you submit and get your refund check out the door? The 2022 tax season crunch has officially begun, filled with talk of dollars, deductions, and delays. Lori Reed, a small business owner from Fairfax, Virginia, is already at wit's end.
That uncertainty caused a little bit of a headache for you?
It's a huge headache.
Until just days ago, she was working to remedy an issue with her 2019 taxes, trying to track down a refund check. She and her accountant say calls to reach an IRS agent for help often landed them on hold for hours.
It's an enormous hassle, and I think when you own a small business and you're trying to keep life running, you have this sort of burden knowing that there's unfinished business.
That's because this tax season, the numbers aren't adding up inside the IRS itself. The agency is warning of severe understaffing.
You're saying the agency is operating with hundreds fewer employees than it should or needs?
Thousands fewer employees than it needs.
A wave of retirements and budget cuts have hammered the IRS. A report by the National Taxpayer Advocate reveals the IRS received 282 million phone calls from taxpayers last year, but was able to answer only about 11% of them. The report adds the lucky ones who did get through waited an average of 23 minutes on hold.
The IRS isn't going to be able to answer as many of those calls as it should be able to.
Deputy Assistant Treasury Secretary Natasha Sarin says the waits could grow even longer this year as COVID further limits the number of agents available.
We know that that's going to be hugely frustrating for taxpayers in a complex filing season in the middle of a pandemic.
The IRS is also still working to dig out from a mountain of other COVID complications and backlogs. Early in the pandemic, some of the tax processing centers were closed entirely, which stopped the processing of some returns in 2020. And they're trying to catch up using outdated methods.
When a taxpayer mails in a tax return, the way that that information is inputted from the IRS's perspective is someone literally transcribes by hand the information from that return into the IRS's systems. That's not how any other business in this country is operating, and that's not how the IRS should be operating either.
There is legislation to boost IRS funding, but here in Washington, IRS legislation often gets caught up in political debate and gridlock. So in the meantime, the agency says if you can, set up direct deposit for your taxes, file electronically, and this year, more than ever, file early. Tony?
Scott, thank you. No one likes the IRS, but you like at least something that the government does with that money, and you're going to need it. All right. Thank you, Scott. We appreciate it.